I know you're all dying to hear my fish rescue story. Just want you to know that we are in my kitchen. This is where my little goldfish resides. Where'd she go? There she is. Her name's Frida. Oh, she's been living with me for about 2.5, 3 weeks. She's doing great. I just swapped out her water. Looks murky, it's not. And I have a towel over her because the sun's coming in. But I wanted to videotape this in my kitchen so you can get the same enjoyment that I get. There's something hypnotic, there's something peaceful and stress-free watching this little fish swim around. Oh, she brings me so much joy. So here's how the story began. I was just about to list a property for sale, and we had a home inspector come to the property. They did their inspection, and it came back that the GFI switches were tripping. Couldn't figure it out. I called the electrician out the very next day. I'm like, what's going on? We got to figure out what's tripping the GFI switches. So he replaced all the GFI switches and said, Audra, it's still tripping. I can't figure it out. So it took him half a day. Come to find out, there was a really pretty back fountain that had a pump that was defective that needed to be replaced. So I'm just about to put the house on the market, and this fountain is evolving into a slimy, smelly pit of crap. I mean, it's like green. I'm sure mosquitoes are laying eggs. It's starting to smell really bad. So I called the sellers up. I'm like, listen, I know you just moved off the property. I know you're on vacation, but we got to figure this out. What do you want me to do? And so the wife, the nicest lady in the universe, tells me, she's like, Audra, there's goldfish in there. Just do the best you can. She's like, I know it's not your job, but just do the best you can. And I talked to the husband about it. He's like, Audra, just call our pool guy. Like, we're sorry we left this to you, but do what you can do. Like, oh my gosh, this is not what I want to do. So of course I called their pool person. I called the pool guy out, and he's like, yeah, we gotta get rid of all this stuff. We gotta change the pump out. It's gonna take me about a week. And I said, okay, what are you gonna do with the goldfish? He's like, the goldfish are gonna die because just the shock of moving them to a new environment is gonna kill them. So it would be my suggestion that we just introduce them to the toilet. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. Let me go get a tank. Let me at least try to save them because I need to do my best. So I couldn't sleep all night. All I could think about is these precious little goldfish being introduced to the toilet by some random pool guy. Oh my gosh, it just killed me. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to put a rescue mission in place. I'm going to hightail it first thing in the morning, and I'm going to do my best to catch as many goldfish as I can. However, when I got there, the pool guy beat me to it, and he took his shop vac and cleaned out most of the fountain. He left about 5 inches of sludge because his shop vac broke. And he said he was going to come back and clean it out. Well, the swampy pond was even smelling worse. There was flies. It was nasty. And when I looked down in the fountain, I saw this little orange goldfish peeking her head out of the sludge and just barely gasping for air. It just about broke my heart. He did not introduce these goldfish to the toilet. He was just gonna shop vac them all up. I was like sick to my stomach. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I'll go let her die in peace. So I go back that evening to go check on the whole fountain situation, and that little goldfish is still there breathing, but she's not breathing, kind of really slow, shallow breathing. And I'm like, I can't believe this. She's bound to die this evening. Like, there's no way she can last that long. So the very next day was a huge day for me, lots of appointments, had to get all dressed up. So I put on this really beautiful light pink cardigan. And as I started my day, I'm like, I'm going to just swing by that house and just see if the goldfish is dead. I don't know. Just something was tugging at my heart. So I went by the property and I go look in that fountain, and lo and behold, that fish is still there breathing. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, I'm going to try to catch her. So I go in, jump in the fountain. I grab 2 mason jars, just thinking I would like put her there and figure something out if I could catch her. Well, I jump into the fountain. I get my pink cardigan just covered in all this sludge and slime and nastiness, so nasty. And I try to catch her, but she was so frantic and she went really deep into the sludge. I'm like, oh man, now she's definitely dead. At least I can't see her. Out of sight, out of mind, off I go. So I left the house kind of a little bit relieved because I don't really know what else I could do. When am I going to know with the fish that's almost dead? Needless to say, when I got to my car, I took off my cardigan and I stuck it in the back of my car, totally forgot about it. And I slept really good that night because I just figured, hey, I did my best and I can't do anymore. So the next day rolls around, and once again, very busy day. And I get in my car and I'm like, what the heck is that smell? Oh my gosh, this is awful. I could not figure it out. I start looking everywhere in my car, open the trunk, and I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't take my beautiful pink cardigan out of the car, and now my car is absolutely a swamp zone. It made me gag. That's how bad it smelled. However, it reminded me about this cute little goldfish. So after my appointments, I showed up 3 p.m. on the third day. When I get to the fountain, you are not going to believe this. Literally, this little goldfish was laying on top of the sludge, and she was barely breathing, and the sun was shining down on her, and she was crisping out for the sun. And in that moment, I knew she was female. There is not a male alive that could put up with that pain, torture, and abuse. I'm sort of kidding. Anyway, at that point, I picked up my crispy mason jars. I found a flower vase and I scooped her up. And I'm like, if you're going to die, at least you can die in water, not, top of this nasty burial ground of sludge and crap. I told her, I'm like, listen, sweetie, I'll come down and properly bury you tonight. I got there 8 o'clock at night, prepared to, bury her. And I looked down in the vase. And granted, she didn't look really healthy, but she was kind of like swimming around a little bit. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, listen, if you survive tomorrow, day 4, I'll buy you a proper tank and we'll save you. Folks, day 4, this goldfish is still alive. And she's swimming around in this little flower vase looking marginally healthy. So at that moment, something just snapped in me. And I'm like, I gotta save this goldfish. I mean, this goldfish is strong. She's resilient. She's a survivor. She's not giving up. She reminded me of me. I'm like, honey child, I gotta save us. So I went down to the local pet store. I got this round fish aquarium thing. It wasn't filtrated, nothing like that. And I just threw her in there with some fresh water. And I'm like, hey, listen, if you can make it by tomorrow, day 5, we'll give you a proper fish tank. But I really honestly didn't think she was going to make it through day 5. So here's a picture of the temporary tank that I bought her. She didn't like it. The next morning, she's like literally going back and forth, and she was all stressed out because, she's used to this huge fountain that she could swim freely. And now she's in this little tiny tank. She's not used to humans looking in on her. It was a very stressful situation for her. That transition was really, really hard. Anyway, I call my brother. My brother is a fish aquarium guru. My brother's literally owned every fish imaginable. He used to work at a fish aquarium place. He knows everything. So I call him up and I tell him the situation, and he tells me, Audra, the best advice I can give you is flush that dang fish down the toilet. It's a feeder fish. It's no big deal. I'm like, no, I'm attached to her. And why does everyone think she's such a worthless thing? She's a sweet little fish who's got a lot of life in her to live. So he said, all right, here's the deal. If you truly want to keep this fish alive, you need to get at least a 20-gallon fish aquarium. I'm like, what? This is a 20-gallon fish aquarium, and she needs to have filtration, and you need to change the water out every week for the first month because you need to create some bacteria pH level in the tank. And he said the main problem with that type of goldfish, by the way, it's a comet goldfish, is that they're extremely oily and they're extremely dirty. They poop a lot. And when they poop a lot, it creates very high levels of acidity or tar. I don't even know. But anyways, you need to do a lot of water changes for the first month, blah, 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 blah. And he said, Audra, I know you're not going to do that. I'm like, no, this goldfish and I were bonded. So it's been 3 weeks. You can see she's still really thriving. And I'm not going to lie, it was a stinking lot of work. And the other thing my brother told me, and he said, listen, if you really, really want to do this properly, you need to get a gravel cleaner because they poop so much, goes into the gravel. You're not going to see it, but it can create other problems if you don't clean it out. So I actually bought a gravel cleaner. Okay, folks, this free little goldfish I think I'm up to $300 now to save this little thing. And by the way, my son actually decorated the tank. That's not me. So it was kind of like a whole family spirit kind of thing. And this is the thing that I've learned so far. Oh, and by the way, the gravel, it's black gravel in there. You have to clean the gravel when you go buy gravel. Who knew? And then you buy these little plants because they feel safer. I mean, this whole thing's a huge, huge production. The funny thing is I stopped by my P.O. box on the way to PetSmart to buy this 20-gallon tank. And I tell them, I'm like, hey, you're not going to believe where I'm going. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get a 20-gallon fish aquarium for my little fish that I rescued. And it just touched her little heart. So I'll put this on the screen for you. They created this little flyer in their P.O. box storefront that they have. And the sign said, Save Frida. And just so you know, Frida is spelled Frida. They made a slight spelling error, but it was so stinking cute. I have the whole city cheering for little, Frida's life. It was precious. So you're probably wondering, why did I come up with the name Frida? I named her after an artist, Frida Kahlo. If you don't know who she is, I'll put a little documentary link down below. It's a great little story. She went through a lot of trials and tribulations and had spirit and made a big impact on the world around her. And she had a husband named Diego. So I was going to get little Frida a friend named Diego. So I was looking at this little fish that sucks all the algae off the tanks. Apparently they get big and they get aggressive. And the sweetest thing about these little comic goldfish, if you do some research, they're very peaceful and sweet little fish. So I decided, you know what, Frida, I'd get you another little friend, but I think she's looking really happy. Like, she doesn't have to share her food. She gets peace and quiet. She gets free roam around the aquarium. Look how cute she is. She's so stinking cute. I just love her. I love her so much. So now I get up in the morning, and I'm not kidding. I wake up, I'm like, let's go see Frida. She comes to the tank and, hey, how are you? And then now I'm trying to make an effort to sit down and have lunch. Just sit down here and we have lunch and we share a few precious moments together. Now, if you're getting any benefit out of this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. And as promised, I wanted to kind of hook you in here a little bit. If you have ever had a really amazing rescue story of any animal, please tell me down below in the comment, and I will be giving you a $50 reward for the winner. And I will share it in the next video, who won and their story. As promised, there are 8 things that we can take away from this cute little darling story. The first one is the importance of having a home inspection completed before you put your house on the market. This seller in particular was able to avoid a major problem with potentially their buyer. When you have a home inspection and the home inspector is saying GFI switches and electrical this and it could kill you and all these things, it could potentially scare a buyer away. And we were able to solve the problem with the fountain before the house even went on the market. So if you are selling your home, I highly suggest that you complete a home inspection. And by the way, if you get that home inspection and you make a lot of changes to that home inspection, you do not need to provide that report to your buyer because the house is now not in the same condition as the original home inspection. So don't be afraid to do it. Or you can always have that home inspector modify the home inspection to reflect the current condition of the home. Takeaway number 2, we don't put goldfish in our fountains. No, they're messy. It creates sanitation problems. Now, if you're going to do something like that, do your research, get the proper filtration so you don't run into the same problem that I experienced. Don't do it. Takeaway number 3, hire the best real estate agent you can find. I don't know too many agents that would solve this type of problem, save this goldfish during a very, very busy season that I'm in right now. When you're hiring an agent, you want to hire someone that's willing to go the extra mile for you. So link down below is a resource guide that gives you some interview questions you can ask your listing agent or your buyer's agent. One of the questions that I did not put on there because I'm just thinking about it right now is ask them this question, okay? Little bonus question here. Give me an example of a time where you went above and beyond for your client, your buyer or your seller. Give me an example and listen to what they have to say. And if they give you some random crazy story like this goldfish story I'm sharing with you, they're probably the right agent that you want to hire because their mindset is in the right place. They are going outside the box, going the extra mile, going the distance for you. Now, if you're looking for agents to interview, I do have a resource link down below where we'll give you some agents to interview. Just find the right one. It makes all the difference in the world. The 4th takeaway is downsizing is so dang difficult. So little Frida was living in this huge fountain, and then she had to go through all these different scenarios and living experiences to get down to her 20-gallon fish aquarium, which was a major step down for where she was living. So it's very stressful. She almost lost her life in the process. So a lot of you are downsizing right now. A few weeks ago, I did a video on some of the pros and cons of downsizing. There is a downsizing guide that I created. I will link it down below for your reference as well. Let's not minimize the stress of downsizing. It's real. It's scary, but if you hang in there and you know it's the right decision, you could be thriving in a smaller living space, just like Frida. The 5th takeaway is any transition or anything we take on usually has associated costs. So when I did this rescue mission for Frida, I didn't think about how much time it was going to take. I didn't do any research about how much the aquarium was going to cost or the gravel cleaner, anything like that. it was pretty expensive. And it wasn't so much the cost, it was the stress, it was the time that I had to dedicate to it, and not even that, the continued dedication of time associated with keeping Frida happy, which I do happily because I get so much joy out of her. But for those of you who are thinking of buying or selling a home, I highly suggest that you understand the costs associated with selling. A lot of you don't know what your closing costs are going to be or what your moving costs are going to be. And please, 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 please make sure you understand your insurance costs and your property taxes. And let's not forget our HOA dues. We need to understand the cost of anything that we're taking on. And let's not discount the continued maintenance on the house, like gardening, or if you have a pool, the pool maintenance, or in my situation, termite treatment. Like owning a home there's a lot of associated costs, and you can't just like wake up one day and flush your mortgage bills down the toilet. Not a good idea. Takeaway number 6, great sacrifice oftentimes means great reward. So I did make a lot of sacrifice with my time and my money to get Frida in her happy little place, and I am benefiting greatly. Now, I know that's a really dumb example, but let me bring it back to real estate. A lot of buyers out there are having to really make sacrifice to save for that down payment. So they're not going on those extravagant vacations. They might be scaling back a little bit and doing a staycation, or maybe they're not going out to dinner as much, and they're just really making that sacrifice because they want to buy a home in the future. Okay, all I can tell you is that's a great, great decision, and it's a great sacrifice, but you will be rewarded. We all know you will be. And for those of you who have homes and maybe have come into bad times, and it's a great house and a great location, it's just you're getting a little nervous about those payments. Maybe it's a time to maybe rent the house out or get that roommate. All I can tell you is when we're in uncertain times and there's a lot of trials and tribulations that you're going through right now, just stay the course, make the sacrifice, make good decisions, and don't get off track. You will be rewarded, I promise. It's so hard to see. Takeaway number 7, don't give up. Little Frida, she was a survivor. She did not give up. She was fighting for her life, and I'm asking you to do the same thing. A lot of you need to hear that right now. I know in my career or in my life, there are days where I just could barely get moving, but I did. I stuck one foot in front of the other, and I kept moving forward. And when I look back on my life, those darkest moments of my life was really a test. And if you're in a dark place right now, or things aren't just going your way, that's happened to me actually quite a bit even this year. All I can tell you is if you just keep moving forward and you keep fighting, and if you're just disciplined with you're going to survive, you're going to make it, you're going to press forward, things will work out. You're being tested. And one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, wow, I never thought my life would be this good. Just like Frida. She thought she was going to die. She was sitting there on the sludge. Okay, I know this is a silly little conversation, but I'm being really serious right now. There's a lot of changes going on in the world, and a lot of us are beaten down right now. So just remember this, okay? Remember the Frida story. And I'm serious. She really inspired me, and I hope this video is inspiring you as well. And takeaway number 8 is enjoy nature. I'm really trying to slow down, stop and smell the roses, enjoy nature, enjoy Frida, enjoy the little simple things in life. It's given me a great deal of joy, great deal of satisfaction, and really helps boost my mood. So that's my goldfish rescue story. Please share down in the comments any rescue story that you have. I love hearing these stories. It makes me happy, and I know the other people that are reading these comments will be blessed by your stories as well. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but I'm just not worried about it anymore because you know what? Everything always works out. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.